Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about butterworts. I brought them down from the sunny window that they're on. They're all starting to come out of dormancy here. I have them all sitting in a tray of water that at this point in time I allow the tray just to dry out for a few days before I rewater, and then I just put about a centimeter back in the bottom of the tray. As they're coming out of dormancy, they're all coming into all kinds of blooms. And I just wanted to go over a few of the species with you and maybe just give some care tips and pointers as I go along. So, why don't we start with this guy, because this one is not like the others. So, this is the only temperate butterwort I have. I got it last year. It is a Pinguicula vulgaris, and it has been outside and has broken dormancy and is blooming away nicely as well. It's the first time it's bloomed for me. It is a super easy bloomer. I got it last summer and it immediately went into its winter hibernacula, which is a tight little cluster of leaves waiting for winter time. It went all through the winter outside, and then just out of nowhere it just sprung open and was full of blooms. So they're a very tiny little flower, but they're dark purple. Probably the purplest butterwort flower that I own anyways. So, they're not very big, especially for the flowering size of them there. There's my fingernail beside it. Moving on, this guy here, well, is in your face. See, you can back that up a bit. Is a Pinguicula moransis. Now, those are going to be one of the more common Pinguiculas. It was my first one as well. These are the kind that you sometimes see in those little Carnivourous Plant dealies, like at Home Depot or Canadian Tire or places like that, Lowe's. So if you have one that you haven't got identified, it is probably a moransis. And what you can see me doing there in the pot was I was just removing some of last year's leaves. They are just dried out and sort of papery, easy to remove. You want to make sure you don't pull too hard. Pinguiculas don't have much of a root system, so if you were to give a leaf a good pull and it wasn't ready to come off, you could remove the whole plant right from the tray. Back here, covered in fungus gnats, is the Pinguicula gigantica. It's getting bigger, I'll give it that. The sunlight's changing the color of some of the leaves. You can see a bit of a purple tint coming. A few fungus gnats all over it, so we know it's in its summer mode producing carnivorous leaves as opposed to in its dormant mode producing succulent leaves. But no flower on that guy yet, and he will get big. A note on all of these, actually, while we're talking about that, is they're all just coming out of their dormancy. So this moransis that we first showed you is actually overflows the pot in the summertime. Its leaves get huge. Back here is an agnata. It has a little bit different flowers. There's a flower on it. Sort of a white center with a very purple rim to it. It's done very well. It's multiplying quite a bit. I started with one. Looks like the pot is pretty much full. And this guy here, all the tags are backwards because the flowers face the light. And I turned the flowers around to face you. But yeah, all the tags are facing me normally, but they're facing outwards now. So this is Elysia. I'm not going to say them probably correctly. Cute little one, very big flower, very purple. You see the difference between that and the moransis? Maybe. Let me see if I can get them both in the shot. Maybe. So there's two different flowers there. This one's much bigger petals. This one's got a lot more white streaks in it there. Very cute. When they first open, they're super dark purple. Let's see, what else do we got? These ones back here, they're a little bit more tubular as well. You can see when it hangs, it's a very different shape. This one is, let me grab the tag, Ping Aphrodite. So other than the first one that I showed you, the vulgaris, these are all Mexican butterworts. Mexican butterworts have a distinct dry season and a growing season. The growing season is warm, wet, and sunny, and the dry season is generally cooler, drier of course, and not quite so bright. What else do we have? Oh, I'm going to go in on this guy here. This is one of my smallest ones right now. I say right now because it is dormant. Let me turn it till we get the tag. Here it is. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Javavensis. But anyways, it is dormant right now. Last summer or last fall, it was still pretty small, but they're about the size of my thumbnail, and now they're about half that size because they just have their succulent leaves. But they're still producing flowers, and there's a little flower on it, and you can tell from the size of the flower, it is actually bigger than the plant right now. These little guys, they look so funny because they both have a flower, and the plant are so tiny, and the flower is so big in comparison. They are a cute little plant. I hope they do really well. Well, one of my favorite ones when they're not dormant, and even one of my favorite ones when they are dormant. What else do we got? These guys are very dormant. I got them last year. They have never produced a flower for me yet, but they were pretty tiny. You can see all the succulent leaves as opposed to the carnivorous leaves on them. This is, and I'm going to have trouble saying it, Lavera. No, and the tag's even like gone. Anyways, this one you guys will know because it is the only red flowering Pinguicula. So it'll be nice to have a red flower in the mix of all this purple. What else can I show you? Here's one that's just coming out of its dormancy. It's got some succulent leaves as well as some carnivorous leaves coming out. So this one is a Maransis G. It's similar to the first Maransis we've seen, except for the flower, instead of looking like this, looks like that, but more of a purple color. Very beautiful flower. A little bit bigger than that too, if I remember correctly. What else do we have? This guy here, I am looking forward to its first flower. Let me see if I'm grabbing it right. This is a hybrid John Rizzi. It apparently has huge flowers on it compared to most Pinguiculas. Still a purple color, but very, very, very big. So that one was good there as well. This guy, I don't know what's up with him. He's looking like crap. It is a cross. I mean, he's dormant, so hopefully he comes back. Gypsy Cola cross with Montezuma. They had very thin little leaves. And you can see the thin little leaves are just coming off because they're dormant, or because they're dead, because it's just the succulent leaves. But the succulent plants are so tiny. I really hope they do make a recovery because I really like this plant. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm just worrying a little bit too much because looking at it here on camera, the center looks healthy. It just looks dormant. So these ones flowered like crazy last year. And it's just starting to rain now in the greenhouse. I can hear the pitter-patter of the raindrops, so hopefully it doesn't affect the audio too much. Hopefully it doesn't rain too hard. What else can I tell you? The media is a peat-based with lots of perlite, a little bit of sand, and a little bit of calcium sand in there because we really want to up the pH. These Mexican butterworts are one of the few carnivorous plants that don't mind an alkaline soil, so I make sure I give it to them. Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap up this Pinguicula video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Feel free to leave your care tips as well in the comments below. I've only had these for about a year and a half now, so I'm still learning myself, but I think I'm doing quite well. I love how frequently they flower and how easy they flower. If you're looking for a carnivorous plant that flowers over and over, these guys are the ones for you. Doesn't matter if they're in their succulent state, dormancy, or if they're in their growing state, they just seem to flower and flower and flower. Here's 3 completely different Pinguicula flowers. And yeah. So anyways, bye for now, guys.